I am very much looking forward to Christmas celebrations this year. Getting together with family. We've got a huge family gathering happening this year, which is, it brings its complications, but it's also going to bring a whole bunch of fun, a fair amount of food, and hopefully going to make some special memories together. There is, though, perhaps a not so good association. When we think Christmas, we think overindulgence of one thing or another, and that post-Christmas lunch nap that everybody heads off to. How can we do not just Christmas, but the whole summer holidays in a healthy way? Somebody with some good advice and tips on this one, Chef Michael from Doctor on a Mission. Kia ora, good morning. Thanks for your time today.
Kia ora, Andrew. Great to see you today. Thanks for having me here.
There is something about the holiday season, and I know from a US point of view, that all started last Thursday, the Thanksgiving and all of that type of stuff. That food and plenty of it is a part of what we do. And, hey, at the end of the year as well, with summer holidays here in New Zealand, it's also perhaps easy for people to say, you know what, we're just going to take a break. We're just going to be less active. We're just going to just blob out a little bit over the summer season. You can understand why people do that, but, hey, you've got 5 tips for us to have a healthier summer. 5 tips to help us survive summer. What do you got for us this week, Michael?
That's cool. Survive summer. That sounds kind of funny because, we're all excited about summer.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's really about how we're positioning ourselves health-wise, just mentally and physically for 2024, because we got a new year coming up. And what Isabella and I have found a lot of times working with people in the new year and ourselves, that I just want to give some tips. So when we get to 2024, it's only after we've had those holidays, after we've had all the fun, and we kind of decide, okay, I got to get back into it. I got to get this year going, that we can do that within days. We're ready to go mentally. Okay, now I'm focused. I'm ready. Physically, okay, I feel good. And not take weeks and months until maybe it's March or April until okay, I think I'm ready for the year now.
There is a little bit of an attitude, particularly with Christmas and New Year. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. And look, that is from Scripture, actually, although it's not a recommendation from Scripture. I think it's a cautionary tale. But I suppose we don't have to live that way. We don't have to wait until the 1st of January to go, okay, I'm going to change my lifestyle. We can upstream that. We can make some lifestyle changes. We can be committed to having a healthier Christmas before we even hit December, not just on the 1st of January.
Yeah. And that's so these 5 healthy holiday survival tips are just to help us get through it. It doesn't mean, hey, I can't have fun. I can't have some drink libations, shall I say, because we tend to do that over the holidays and have some different foods, but it's so we get through them actually enjoying them, having energy, not, people looking at it and going, well, let's go do something. And you're like, oh, I can't even do anything. I am so tired. Come on, let's get going.
Okay. 5 things for a happy summer. What's first on the list, Michael?
All right. Number 1 is relaxed mealtime eating.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, have you ever gone back for seconds? And no, I know this isn't you, Andrew, but I'm just putting it out to all the listeners.
Well, there's a little bit. And especially because, this Christmas, there's my wife and her 2 sisters and all of our sons. So all of these male cousins are getting together around the Christmas table, and it's a little bit like the wolf pack. The one who eats slowest has the least. So it's gonna be all in, but actually eating quickly and going in for seconds, that's not a great approach from a nutritional point of view.
Exactly. And so understand that it takes 20 minutes for our digestive system to tell the brain, hey, I'm full.
Okay.
So if we are eating quickly and 5 or 10 minutes later, we're done with our plate and we're going, oh, I'm not full yet. I go for another plate. And then halfway through that second plate or at the end, that's when you hear people going, oh my gosh, I am stuffed.
Because you should have stopped eating 10 minutes ago. I mean, that's a game changer when you realize that, right?
Yeah. And so we want to start the digestive system. at the very beginning. And that starts with chewing and the saliva, breaking everything down. So slow down your eating, enjoy, have some conversation, allow yourself to get full naturally and not rush through the meal. So that'll help you actually not overeating by slowing down at mealtime.
And if you are feeling like seconds, just wait 10 minutes to see if you still feel like seconds before you pile up your plate again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, you mentioned libations beforehand, and yeah, some people will have a celebratory drink perhaps over their meal, but in terms of staying hydrated, doesn't need to be alcohol over summer, right?
Exactly. And this is also important too to understand is, yes, we're going to understand that people will probably have more alcohol than they would normally.
Okay.
That's, we're not trying to hide that here. I mean, I'm not saying if you don't drink, then start drinking. No. But if you are having alcohol, one thing to understand is what will help you to feel better overnight, and shall I say, with that micro hangover possibly in the morning. We're not saying that's a good thing, but if that could happen to you, is stay hydrated with water. If you are having that glass of wine or bubbles or beer or something, then have a glass of water after that. Just make sure you're keeping your water hydration level up so that alcohol dehydration doesn't smack you in the side of the head when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I can't do anything today. What a wasted day. We want to stay away from that. So stay hydrated.
I mean, that's really good advice. And again, it's a little bit counterintuitive here because you go, hey, I'm thirsty, possibly because of the food, possibly even because of the alcohol. I've got a drink in my hand. I'll just keep sipping this drink until I stop being thirsty. That's not a strategy that's going to get you anywhere. If you go, hey, I feel thirsty, how about drinking some water? That's proven to be something which pushes back against thirst, right?
Yes, exactly. That'll help out with some of those feelings that might not be good.
Something we've talked about beforehand is, yes, it is about what we eat, but it's also about how we eat, and it's about when we eat as well. This can be a key factor.
Yes, yeah. So number 3 tip would be do your best to avoid late night eating. And I know, hey, come on, I've been in New Zealand for 23 years. I mean, I had my first barbecue when we had only been here for about a week. It was a street party and people invited us around, and my wife Isabel and I showed up at 7 p.m. with our 2 young daughters, and the hosts were still showering and getting ready. And we're like, what's going on here? And by 9 o'clock, people were just starting to arrive. The barbecue hadn't been lit yet.
The sun's still up.
Our kids were asleep.
That's the thing with summer. The sun's still up. So you think, it's still daylight. We can just keep eating, right?
Yeah, I mean, the eating didn't happen until like 10 p.m. and our kids were asleep. We took them home at that point. We're like,
wow.
Okay, well, we're out of here. We're done. So avoid late night eating because, again, your body can't really rest overnight, and it's going to leave you going to bed stuffed. You don't get a good night's rest. So that's just a key to help you, do your best. I mean, if you do eat late, try to stay up a little bit, do that hydration.
Yes.
If you're eating late, stay up that extra hour longer, drink some water, get hydrated, give your digestive system a chance to rest before you go to sleep.
And not just the main meals as well, because for some of us, it's like, gosh, don't have to go to work in the morning. We're hanging out with friends and family. Let's stay up and chat. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, and certainly in moderation, but often when we chat, it involves something to eat and something to drink whilst we're chatting. Actually, if you go, hey, yeah, we can stay up, but perhaps not the food that goes with it. There's a tradition of midnight snacks, but hey, maybe we'll feel better the next morning if we don't do that.
Yeah, and that's really the key. You're playing the long game here, is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, another good reason to not eat late is your suggestion for number 4. 5 healthy holiday survival tips. Tip number 4, taking a walk after each meal. You won't want to be doing that at midnight. Seriously.
Most likely not. You might get away with it with maybe in your neighborhood, Andrew, and that upscale neighborhood you live in. But yeah, I mean, the reason why after a meal, and I guess when I say take a walk, I'm just talking about don't just plop down in front of the TV. Don't just sit down. After a meal, what will help you out is because most of us will have a fair amount of glucose, or what you could call a sugar load, into our system. If we just have 10 minutes of minor movement around, just whether it's a light walk or whatever, maybe even a little bit of movement around the house, we'll burn some of that off, and that'll help us out with our digestive system, will help us out. So just whatever you can, if you can get some movement after a meal, that would really help us out too in the long run.
And also a great thing to do socially as well, because, perhaps after a big meal, you're not going to feel like hitting the cross trainer or doing a mini marathon or anything like that. But actually, the social aspect, instead of finding a place to have a lie down after the Christmas lunch or whatever the meal, find a few members of the family and say, hey, I'm going to walk down to the beach, or I'm going to go for a walk through the bush here. Who wants to come with me? Make that a part of the social routine over summer.
Beautiful suggestion. Yes. Love it.
Number 5 on the list, this is about what we eat. This is about the naughty and nice list of summer eating in some ways. And look, all things in moderation. But there's something about the Christmas season where we go, all the things on the naughty list, we're weighing the table down with all of that type of stuff. But again, some balance and moderation here, Michael?
Yes. I mean, so in this, I'm just talking about keep it minimal with the processed foods and the fried foods. I mean, I'm very transparent. I don't normally eat French fries, chips, whatever you want to call it. But over the holidays, somewhere along the line, I'm going to have a burger and fries with a gluten-free bun, of course. But I'm going to have a burger and fries, and that's okay. But I'm not going to have it 3 times a week for the next 4 weeks or something. And so just keep it minimal. Have your fun. Do the things. And the other key is, though, what I always do is I keep up my vegetables and my greens. So even when I am going to have that burger and fries, I'm going to have some veggies and some greens first before I have it. I'm going to make sure I still have some goodness with that when I have those other types of things. So that just keeps the system kind of balanced, keeps you moving along, because I'll tell you, if you come out of the holiday periods in 2024 and you decide to get going, but it takes you weeks and months to do that, there's a lot of wasted productivity time. And for all of us, we probably we want to get going as quick as we can.
Certainly. And hey, one of the good things about having a Southern Hemisphere Christmas is in terms of fruit and veg and good salad stuff, and it's warm temperatures, so you're going to feel more like a salad than a hot meal anyway. Although, salad plus barbecue, that's okay, all things in moderation, but also hopefully the price of some of our salad greens and veggies coming down as we head into summer. So let's make the most of that, right?
Yeah, great time of the year to be eating all those good fresh produce and taking advantage of it, because it is going to be our best time of the year for pricing wise. So let's do that. But I know for myself and Isabel, we have done it one way and we've done it another way. I know we have come out of the summer holidays being, oh, what happened to me?
I love the fact about you guys are your own before and after pictures, really, aren't you? You've tried both ways. You've found the better way of doing it. And thank you for the advice and encouragement that you give in this space. For people that wanted to find out more about some positive tips that you can make to improve your health, and in particular your brain health, doctoronamission.com. That is DOCTOR onamission.com. Michael, a pleasure to chat. Have yourself a great week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew.